Welcome to Urban Wine Life. I'm Michael, and we're going to be looking at wine glasses for today. So you see my spread that we have out before me, and we've talked about crystal and glass. Now we're going to talk about the type of wines to go with the type of wine glasses. The first thing we're going to start with is your champagne flute or your flute. Remember, Champagne is the region that's in France. And you see the map. And you see the map, it's in northeastern. And in that area, we have where the majority and legally the word champagne can be used. And those words are restricted from being used in any other country. So, the type of grapes that's used for champagne is Pinot Noir and white Chardonnay. That's champagne. Those are the two types of grapes that's used for champagne. So why do we use a flute as opposed to any of the other glasses? So if you look at the form in the vertical sense like that, those bubblies that everyone loves to say, you can feel that as it goes through, that's that carbon dioxide. And this keeps that flow going up, and these glasses, as it's tightly fitted right here, it keeps those flavors in. So it lasts a lot longer. If you notice, if you put champagne into a flatter glass, those bubblies go away really, really quickly. So always keep that in mind. That's your champagne flute. But that flute is used for many type of sparkling wine. So keep in mind, there's champagne, which is a sparkling wine, but there's sparkling wine. Sekt, S-E-K-T. You see that, right? Sekt is used really in Germany. That's the actual sparkling wine that they call it. So you got Sekt. Then you have Cava. Cava's, which is in Spain. And that fermentation process is done almost exactly the way champagne is. So if you want that same type of fermentation process that is truly like a champagne sparkling wine, then it's Cava. In Italy, you have two. You have the Asti and the Prosecco. So you get those two that you really use those sparkling wines. Again, these are sparkling wines, so keep that in mind. And those are the, I guess it's four. So you got your champagne, you get your German Sekt, you have your Prosecco, and you have your Cava, and I said the Asti. So the Asti Spumante, that's that Spumante, and then and that's the one that they really have for those regions. But remember, even sparkling wine in the United States, it's not champagne. So if you could say, give me some champagne, you're not really getting champagne. You only get champagne from the region in France. That's what you use your flute for. Now we go into our white wine glass. A white wine glass, if you look at it, beautiful stem, and it's a great demonstration to have. So you have your lip, you have your bowl, you have your stem, and you have your foot. And you see a lot of people grab their glasses and hold as such. You have some people that hold it by the stem, and you have people that hold it at the bottom. If you have white wine and it's chilled, it is not favorable to have your hand on your glass this way because the warmth of your body will start warming up your wine. So it's recommended that you hold that. You see a lot of professionals or others hold it as such. I'm not that good, so I'm gonna always hold it by the stem. But it gives you that good balance, and you can hold from that, and then you can swirl easily. A lot of people, you get them swirling, but I hold it by the stem. So this is the recommended holding of a wine glass. So why this? Most white wines have sort of sweetness to it, fruitiness to it. So those flavors go straight up, and then look at the way your lip is. It's closed up. As soon as you put to your lips, it hits the front of your tongue. That's where your sweetness is. So it doesn't flow behind. It doesn't really flow from there. So it's there you go. It hits those front for that sweetness to get that true first taste of that wine. So really slim. That's what it looks like from there. Here's the third. This is a rosé glass. I wanted this because of the style. Most rosé glasses, if you ask for a rosé, those rosés will actually have like flared lips on the top. So your rim will be a little flared. Why is that? Well, this opens up because not only are most of those are a little sweeter, you need to get a little more on the side of your tongue. So that extra wideness of, see where that lip is right there. It hits the front and a little of the side. I'm okay with rosés. I'm not a big rosé fan. I've been getting to a lot of rosés from the Grenache. That's not normal. You get the Pinot Noirs. And rosé is usually these red wines that are limited with the skin color, and it goes from there. So that limits that, and it only gets a slight bit of a little blush to it. A rosé, blush, rose, like we call blush. It's not blush wines. Even some Zinfandels. I'm not a big fan of the Zinfandel or white Zinfandel or rose Zinfandel. I'll take a Pinot Noir, and I'm really into the Grenache. So you got those that's right there. But same concept of that. That doesn't mean you can't use one of these glasses, but for presentation wines, and if you're taking it from there, then rosé glass. And see the kind of the flareness of it as well, because there's a little mixture. Now we got these babies right here. These are your reds, your red wine glasses. Little different. If you see this bowl right here, we're gonna start with the less complex. So this red wine glass, and look at the larger lip on that. See the larger lip on that. These are so you can get that flow to the back of the mouth. So those complexities in it, move it forward. If you take it and you do it and you do your swishing, and look at that. And this is what I found also. Look at the way my nose gets in there. Nose is kind of big, but it accommodates that. The nose really accommodates that. So it's open. So those Pinot Noirs, those Zinfandels, those European Grenache, the gamey grapes, all those fruitful, really fruity, organic, kind of floral types. That's your great one right there. So you get a lot of that fruit, but it hits the back end, and you got a little of the front as well because of the fruitiness of that. But look at that flow. It sits that bowl. That bowl is really full, and then it comes up in that way. So that's that red wine glass. These are your more complex. That was a Burgundy. This is your Bordeaux glass. So when I first started drinking it, that's what I was drinking out of. My tallest, thinnest, really wide bowl at the bottom. They used to say, hey, look, I got that big booty. Get that big booty for that right there. That's what I like. So I get it from there. Don't look into it. Don't read into it. But that right there, you see how fullness at the bottom of that. That sits there. It gives it time to breathe. So you got that breath that goes right there, but then it gets so it can just go to the back. That's your Cabernets. That's your Merlots. That's your Malbec. That's all those complexities. You want to hear or taste a lot of those like woods and the cocos, the smoke. All of those little complexities with a little bit of the fruity flavor with that, but it's so complex. It hits the back end and it gets you waiting, and then you got those tannins that sits. So that's your red wines. Let's go from that. But that's my favorite when I first started drinking. That's the glass that I went to because I wanted that fullness, and I said that looks amazing because that's my red wine. And then last but not least, you got your fortified wine or your dessert wines. Some of these are a little smaller than this, but these are fortified and added with brandy. You got that brandy that mixes in, which is high alcohol, but concentrated sweetness in there. So this is your aperitif or anything on the back end with your dessert. But it's really thick and strong. So don't let it fool you. So at the end of the day, like I'll get a couple of glasses of these, it'll sneak up on you. But these is really for that those sweet desserts, and this matches with it. And it's that end of the day, you could go from there, but it's really, really high in alcohol and sweetness. So you could go from that. I kind of laid it out. So if you ever went to a tasting, you really want to go to your lightest to your heaviest. Lightest to your heaviest. Most of the time you go to a tasting, they greet you with your champagne or your sparkling wine. Then you may go with a white wine, maybe a rosé before you slip to those. So you're getting your Chardonnay, because this is my Chardonnay glasses, your Riesling, Sauvignon Blancs, my favorites. And then your rosé, I told you those mixtures from right there. Enjoying my Pinot Noirs, or Zinfandels. Did my heavy, high-end Cabernet Sauvignons, as well as maybe a really strong Shiraz. Really great. I always tell people, hit that Shiraz if you want to chill with a cigar, and good as a brandy or whiskey. Those little complexities, especially the smoky, that goes really well with that. Then your little dessert. So these are really, really cool. I'm introducing right now. If you look, that's your infographic, and it shows you the different type of wines that's actually in there. And you go from the top. It's going to illustrate a couple from there, and you go through it. I wanted to put these infographics in there so you can really be familiar with a lot of what I'm saying, and how Wine Folly, which big up to Wine Folly, has a lot of this information. If you go to their site, you'll see a lot of that, but it's really great information. But I wanted to put those infographics in there too. But great lineup. I have to say, on one note, these are my two goals. That's your goals. Hey, look, I got my white wine and my red wine. I'm good. It's not like you can't put a Merlot or a Pinot Noir in here, but when you want to have the different qualities, or you want to take advantage of those flavors, yeah, you can move to these wines. You can move to these. But is it it's mandatory that you buy these? They have, because I buy a lot of Riedel as well. It's spelled Riedel. Those Riedels, they have Riedel glasses for each and every wine. I'm not going that far. I'm going to be able to say, how do I enjoy my wine, and how does the glasses fit what I actually need? And then I can use consistently the glasses that I enjoy. Because as you saw in the other one, I have crystal champagne glasses. And a lot of times people wait for special occasions. But I recommend that you try sparkling wine just as a wine. But try the sparkling wine, not champagne, cava, prosecco, and I really want to do something on those too. I'll show you a couple of bottles that I have, and then we can go from there. But I'm not opening up 3 different bottles, but we'll try it from that. But really, really, a lot of people came to me and said, Michael, should I have this one glass? Should I get 15 glasses or different types? So I wanted to kind of lay them out. It's still a preference of your own, but at least I gave you the opportunity to go through each and every one of these and say, okay, I'll probably buy one of these and probably one of those. Later on, as I'm drinking different wines, I may grab one of these and grab one of those. But your champagne, which is highly recommended, if you're going to drink sparkling wine or champagne, it's recommended to have a flute. Your white wine, maximize the way that you're tasting your wine, and maximize the way that you're tasting your red. Either one of these will be fine. So try your luck on any one of those. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. Hope the infographics was pretty good right there. I did show you the map of France that was up inside of there. So I really wanted to show that as well. But these is what I have. Thank you very much. Urban Wine Life. Have a great night.